Welcome back to another episode of Ankle Sore. Have Connaught become premiership favourites? Are Geelong in trouble? Can the Bulldogs and Freo still play finals? And will North and the Saints stay undefeated? I want to start off by saying it's great to be back, gentlemen. Many thanks to Vito, who kept the chair warm for me. Absolutely. He did a marvellous job. Magnificent.
Appreciate it.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe. That mid-year target will be upon us before you know it. Well, boys, Andrew, Vito, round 2, done and dusted.
Absolutely.
All teams sit in one of 4 ratios. It's usually 3, but we've had a draw. So obviously 6 teams are undefeated. The Blues and the Tigers have had a draw. They haven't lost yet. We've got 3 teams with a 1-1 record and 7 teams that are yet to open their accounts. So with that, is there anything in the ratios that jump out, boys, with that?
Well, first things first. Good to see you alive, Angelo.
Yeah, good to see you back, mate.
Good to be here.
Yeah,
And I've got my chair back. I feel comfortable now. I feel
You've wrecked this chair. I don't know what's going on. It's taken 3 hours to fix it.
Probably the gym.
That's what it is, yeah.
Ratio. Well, you wouldn't have thought St Kilda would be 2 on zip, would you?
Or North.
Or North.
No chance.
No, that's right.
No.
That's what stands
That's
out.
right.
They're the
That's
first 2 things that stand out. St Kilda more, I think, though, because they smacked them.
Yeah.
And no one expected them to be free, but then again, no one expected us to win last night. But we'll get to those games anyway. That's sort of the only thing.
Yeah, what about Zip 2 teams? 0 and 2 teams,
I'm
Dogs?
very surprised.
Horrendous.
And Geelong?
Geelong, very bad.
Very ordinary.
They're bad.
They've had 2 tough games. Like, they've played the reigning premiers. And
No excuse. They are who?
Sorry, they've played Collingwood, who are preliminary finalists.
Yeah.
And they've played Carlton, who are a decent side. Like, that was a tough opening 2 weeks.
It was, but...
I'll touch on Geelong, and you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go back to Thursday night footy. And as Vito said, I took your line from last week. Seems like eternity ago, Thursday night.
It actually does.
Back Carlton 13-12-90, defeated Geelong 12-10-82 by 8 points. Tight first half. Carlton sort of opened it up a bit in the third, and then Geelong come running home.
I actually thought Carlton was in control of most of it. It sounds a bit silly, but once again, number 14, not in that midfield. I think number 35, I know he's getting older and he's not going to be the same, but he's struggled because he hasn't got his mate
support
down and under, mate, underneath.
In and under,
all the time. So for me, that was a big. It's going to go on. It's going to go on. That's the thing that stood out for me.
You don't reckon...
And Tom Stewart, of course.
Yeah. You don't reckon Geelong's defence were a bit rattled?
Yeah, they had 4 defenders, 4 of their best 6 defenders out.
Talk to me.
So what stood out for me is just Charlie Curnow and Jeremy Cameron, the best forwards in the game, hands down.
Caused headaches all night, both.
We called it.
Players.
You didn't agree. You said Tom Lynch, but that's incorrect.
We'll talk about him.
But yeah, Geelong, Colin Jasny, and I'm not a huge fan, but he's a premiership player, right? Him, Stewart, Henry.
Yeah, big outs.
There was someone else out. That's massive. The Joel Selwood, I can hear him, but I'm not listening yet.
Okay.
He's getting... it's growing on
Now,
me.
I've got a question for you both. Can Geelong get Joel Selwood in the mid-season draft? If they make a push toward...
Really?
Well,
can they?
Yeah. Well, yes. He's retired.
Oh, well, it doesn't mean... So what?
Well, Conor McKenna...
Yeah, could they get him?
Conor McKenna.
Could they get him?
They won't.
North should have a crack at him, Ange.
No, he's only going to... If he ever
Where would
comes
Birchall
back.
play?
Yeah, Birchall.
Private joke.
Okay. No, if he ever comes back, he's going to Geelong, mate. He's not going anywhere else.
True.
But do you reckon they could redraft him? If they're struggling...
So my thoughts are correct by what you're saying. They miss him big time.
Oh, if they redraft him, you're the king of the podcast.
So, Jeremy Cameron's last quarter?
Oh,
sensational.
Yeah.
He probably he hurt himself. He was down for ages.
He looked like he was in pain.
Yeah, and he still stood up.
Yeah.
Rip around the corner.
He almost won the game for the Cats.
Yeah.
He did.
They almost won. They were pre-ordinary Geelong, and they still almost won.
Ultimately, Carlton nearly blew it.
Through it again.
blew
Carlton played better, but
They
I
did
want to
play
see
better.
more than that.
Oh, just quickly, I did say Carlton will win. I said it for the few days you weren't here, of course, but I'm not sold on him, to be honest, yet.
No, I'm not sold either.
Good win, don't get me wrong. Good
Yeah.
win, but he's right about Geelong had quite a few out.
Yeah.
Saying that they had Walsh out,
They did, and Cripps was beaten.
Again.
Jeez, he's
Beaten.
struggling a little bit early.
Yeah. So let's have a look at Friday night's footy. Brisbane.
Blockbuster.
Look like Brisbane put Melbourne's lights out.
Oh, very good. Very good.
14-9-93 to 12-10-82. But before I go any further, that was the fifth quarter score because the real score when the game ended was 14-7-91 to 8-3-51. That's a 40-point belting. And for me, that's where it ends.
I can't believe Melbourne.
It's a farce.
Jeez.
It was a farce. Brisbane whacked them all night.
Well, I didn't watch that game fully, I must say. But, yeah,
Whacked them.
They were in control completely.
That's right. Yeah.
As soon as Gorn went down, it was going to be an issue.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So if Melbourne came back and won, then what?
It's a farce.
So they only get 4 points?
Well, they would have.
So what's the difference?
So you're saying...
No, it's
You're
all
saying
part of the game, mate.
38 minutes and Melbourne
So be it.
regroups. Don't forget last year Melbourne played West Coast and did the same thing. When there was a lightning strike and they missed
that's right.
50 minutes, Melbourne
cup.
regrouped, came back, kicked 6 goals, lost by a kick or whatever it was.
Yeah,
They've done it before.
So what happens on
It's-
grand final day when there's the halftime entertainment's a big extended? Can you no? So it doesn't matter,
That's
mate.
not really...
Well,
that's not the same.
Yeah, that's part of the day, and there's a process that clubs
That's right.
follow. They don't expect
Look,
that.
there's only one reason why. and
I'm not
it's-
copping that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If it snows 10 feet of... If there's 10 feet of snow in an EPL game, what happens? Game over. See you later.
Oh, yeah,
2 points
I
each.
think
Not really.
I'm not sure. I'm
And
not
it
sure.
happens in NFL as well. Like, this is all about the betting and the punters because some yobbo in the stand
But you've still got to finish.
He's worried
the game.
about his under 39.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
you've still got to finish the game, right?
Do you?
Yeah. What, you're going to call it off?
Yeah.
The game's not finished.
It's over 70% finished. Actually, it was 85%
AFL
Is that the rule, is
finished.
it?
Nah, half time's the rule.
Oh, is it?
So it was after half time.
Yeah, but AFL's a game of attrition.
It is. I'm just talking about oddities, and this was an
Yeah,
oddity.
it's odd. Okay.
But without Gorn, they were mauled at the stoppages. Let's talk about the actual game. They were mauled at the stoppages. The Lions hunted in packs, and their scoreboard pressure got them to 14 goals to 8 in front.
Yeah, they destroyed them, really.
They
When's the last
absolutely
time-
destroyed them. They probably should have kicked 10 goals to 1 in the first quarter. Like they had
Many opportunities.
25 inside 50s to 6 and beat them 14 clearances to 1. Like 6 goals to 2, but it should have been 10 goals
What
to
did Dano
2.
kick? Four.
4,
something?
kicked 4.
Four. I don't know how many points.
Finally
Yeah.
stood up.
Yeah.
Finally.
That's exactly what I
And
was about to say.
yeah, Ashcroft was great, and Zorko.
Come back, yeah, he's important.
He's been missing.
Yeah, yeah.
So the lights went out, did they?
That they did.
Ashcroft, Brayshaw. Wow. 20 touches for Brayshaw. And
Oh no! Oh no! That they did reminds us
Yes,
of round
yes.
10, 1996.
Oh, yes, Malcolm Blight.
VFL Park, St Kilda Essendon, and the lights went out.
They lead by that bare margin, 20 points, but in the context, hello, we might really have a...
With, halfway through the third quarter.
Third quarter, that's right, yeah.
And Essendon had a couple of goal lead, and the lights went out for 38 minutes.
And then they came back and played the game when?
Tuesday.
Yeah,
They
that's
came
right.
back on the Tuesday
They
night.
cancelled the
And Essendon
game.
still won, didn't they?
Essendon won. They kicked 4 goals to 2 in the final two 12 and a half minute quarters. And 17,000 people came to watch.
it was free entry.
25. Was it really? I didn't know that.
So if you lived around the
To
corner, you
watch
just
25 minutes of football on a Tuesday night. The old Escort Cup.
Saying,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Saying that you're going to go back even more, the MCO Herald shit.
Yeah, and that happened once too in that. Won't go into that, but it happened once
Okay.
as well. There was one change that night.
James Hird. I remember.
They
Yeah.
made one change, and James Hird kicked a couple of the 4 goals and
okay.
was dominant.
Did
in
he
that
get
25
Brownlow?
minutes.
Because he won the
I
Brownlow
think
that year.
He did.
Okay, we're gonna look it
I
up.
haven't researched
put
that,
we'll
but-
put the little notes there if he got votes in that game.
Yeah, but-
because he didn't play the first 2.5
No.
quarters, right?
He didn't play that first
Interesting to
Saturday
see if he
night
got
game.
Brownlow votes.
Yeah, that'd be
What if-
interesting to
anyway.
see,
Yes, so that's my second. Well, that's a fast too. Bringing in a player
I agree,
Anyway,
but
well,
for
it
12
is what it
minutes.
is.
AFL they make rules on the fly,
That's
mate.
right. Saturday MCG. Collingwood 21-9-135. Walloped Port Adelaide 19-64.
Okay.
Over to you, Veet.
I'm going to say one thing. I called this in our first episode, top 3 or 4 Collingwood and can win it. I said Richmond, Melbourne, I know because of the Taranto thing, but I'm telling you now, I have not seen more exciting footy from a side in a while.
You're right.
Exciting, attacking. The Dacos brothers are, I won't swear, incredible. Incredible. And Jason Horne-Francis, where were you when the pressure cooker was on? And you know what? I can't believe Collingwood supporters were giving it to him.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yep.
Absolutely giving him the jeers. And in the paper today I read that Ken Hinkley was complaining, oh, why would you do that? And blah, blah, blah.
Obviously, Melbourne doesn't like
Well,
him.
obviously because of the reason he left Melbourne.
There's vision of Jason Horne-Francis, and we'll put it up, of him chasing and stopping and giving up. And we'll show
Really?
that vision.
No way.
I missed that. I watched the game.
It's really poor viewing. Get a giggle if you're a blue and white supporter, but poor for anything on the Collingwood game.
They looked awesome. Mate, they're good to watch, like Vito said.
Beautiful.
They're really good to watch. For me, they're
Aside from Dacos, what else stood out?
Dacos.
Aside from the Dacos.
Oh, Darcy
brothers?
Cameron.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
brilliant.
glad you said that.
Because I said it in our previous episodes. You don't need a great ruckman.
Yep.
They're almost irrelevant. So if you can get one that's not highly rated, cheap,
Yeah.
high in the draft or something,
Yeah.
they go in for peanuts. They got rid
did.
of Grundy, got in for peanuts.
That's right.
Him and Cox are doing the job,
That's
and they're
right.
winning games. What more do you want?
I'll just add, and again, I add this every week, but I just have to mention him every week, Darcy Moore. Just
Yeah.
runs the show down there, organised. He organises everything. Rarely gets beaten. Like early on, Dixon, I think, kicked a couple of goals early. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
on him, I can't remember. But then they just tightened up, knew what they had to do, and that was the end of the
Yeah.
penny sections. And that's an old saying.
That's a beauty.
That's a Lou Richards penny section.
Jeez.
I think there was 3 keys to take out. Pendlebury is still trundling around as good as ever.
Tremendous.
But he can because of the Dacos boys.
Great.
and-
Then we'll see Pendlebury go around for another 40 games.
Oh, so
then.
he's going to play 400.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he'll
I
play
think he'll
400.
Barring injury, yeah. He'll play
Barring injury.
400,
I also think that their contested and tackle count was just huge, and that's massive in everything that you've said. And I loved the huge start, 7 goals to 2, and the big finish, 7 goals to.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Great.
They're impressive to watch.
They're great to watch, mate. Love
Let's
it.
get to Saturday twilight. Richmond and Adelaide Oval. Final scores there was 10-16, 76 Adelaide, 2-17-6, 108 Richmond. So, but plenty of things happened in that game.
Correct. And look, one thing I want to say about that game, look, Richmond early on had it just in their pocket, you know what I mean? Adelaide shot themselves in the foot. I think they got in front, if I'm not wrong, by a couple of points. And then squandered so many,
Yeah.
well, 10-16 tells you.
Yeah.
Squandered so many kickable goals. That probably would have put Richmond on the back foot, kept Richmond sort of in there. And then, obviously, Richmond's experience, I thought, in the last quarter, Cochin, Shea Bolton's a gun. Lynch kicked a couple of goals, if I'm not wrong, late.
That's where Adelaide, that's their downfall. The
Yeah.
experience, they just panic. That's why they miss shots.
Yeah, well,
just,
they kicked 5-8 in that third quarter.
there you
That's what
go.
I'm saying, shut themselves in the foot.
8-5, you probably win it or get close enough.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
should have
Closer.
won it in the end.
Correct.
Yeah. But again, football, you take your chances. When a side gives you a look, you've got to take your
Yeah.
chances. That's it.
And, I mentioned this guy last week, Andrew. I don't know if you would have heard it when you watched the back when you were away. Luke Pedler for Adelaide. He's going to be he's
He's got a lovely left foot.
he's tough.
He's tough, yeah.
Gets on his bike.
You know who he reminds me
I
of?
said that last week, mate.
That's just a weekly thing now.
Leave the jokes for me, mate.
He reminds me of one player that used to play in the SANFL, like in the 80s.
McIntosh.
Yes, Gary McIntosh.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put a
same.
Sport of the
picture of
group,
him up.
yeah.
Scott versus Redden. Redden easily. Caton trying to come through. Richardson for one of his few possessions, but hand passed the wrong way. This is McIntosh. Shrugs off the tackle. Left foot kick by McIntosh. That's how easy it is.
Tough as nails, Gary McIntosh. If
Left
I'm not wrong,
footer.
socks down.
Yeah, socks down, scruffy.
Hard.
Just quickly, he's Broad in trouble.
Yeah, he's gone.
Once he's gone.
I was going to say Broadbent for Port Adelaide as well was in trouble.
I can't remember that.
Sling
even-
tackle to Jamie Elliott.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's in trouble
So,
for sure.
Who's Broadbent?
Matthew for Port Adelaide.
Did you get in the DeLorean, mate?
Well, what happened?
He hasn't played for 5 years.
Who was the tackler?
I don't know. It's not him.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll put the clip
Oh,
up to
Ryan Burton.
Ryan Burton.
Who am I going? Broadbent.
Broadbent.
Floats it inside 50. The chaos ball might still work here. Elliott lurking, got it. Quickly got and dumped. Could it be ball or dangerous tackle? It's dangerous tackle. It probably was going to be holding the ball until the tackle lingered too long.
You knew who I was talking about.
Broadbent.
Yeah, Burton.
Look, I hear Ryan Burton likes broad beans, so
No, well, maybe. But where is Broadbent now? He's just,
I don't know, mate. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's a good one.
I think he's in trouble, yeah, for sure.
Well, so is Broadbent, I think.
Well, poor bloke's probably sitting there having a beer thinking,
Just,
Look at these
hello.
Muppets.
"These 3 Muppets haven't played for 5 years."
Yeah, exactly. Saturday night, Marvel Stadium. Well, this was a real big turn up. The Dogs kicking 5-11-41, St Kilda 14-8-92.
Look, obviously I was watching another game, but I kept checking that and kept watching a few of the highlights. The Dogs got within 5 points. I thought, here we go. They'll just run over the top. You know, Marvel. I know St Kilda play well, but I thought Marvel, they'll skate, Bontempelli, what's his name? Bailey Smith and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff. Then I've looked back and all of a sudden St Kilda's like kicked 4 or 5 on the trot. To me,
Responded.
the Dogs look cooked, and Ross Lyon, as much as we can say whatever we like, you got to hand it to the bloke, mate. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they kick. They've kept them to 41 points.
Yeah. Yeah, 5-11. They kicked 9-11 last week. And I know Ross Lyon's drilled that defensive mantra into all these teams that he's coached, but he's added like hard running, tackling, scoring. And the Security had a temporary forward line.
Can I just say
I mean, Ace Cordy's ain't your answer.
No, I agree, but he done all right. But
Yeah.
you know what it is too? He's looked at what he's got available to him, right? And to his credit, he's gone, all right, we've got so many players missing, and he's put together a side and a style and a game plan, if you want to call it that, a system, whatever you want to call it, and it stands up, mate.
Thoughts?
Still won't win a premiership.
No one's saying
with that style of
food.
food.
Premierships, though.
No, I'm just saying. But you play football to build towards a premiership,
I
right?
agree, but if you,
We're
sorry to interrupt you, any other side with 7 blokes missing probably lose most games. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
He's found a way, mate.
But it's his signature
Exactly. He's
It's his
always found a
signature
way. But
print.
I reckon it says more about the Bulldogs.
Oh, listless and disjointed. Is all I can
Where are
think
they
of.
at? I'll tell you something. Luke Beveridge won't have a job at the end of the year. That's a fact. He's had it.
Yeah.
I think you're actually right.
He's
I said he's overstayed his tenure.
Yeah, he has. His game plan. His mentality, just the way he thinks about football. I don't know. I wouldn't have signed him.
Shouldn't they
So he was
wait?
out coached Saturday night then.
He's been out
There's such a
coached
thing?
for a year. No, there's not. But
You know I say that.
But they like to say it.
It
out
sounds
coached.
like, people that... Yeah.
Not just that. Look, out coach doesn't just happen. It happens when you lose by a point, right? You make a mistake or whatever.
Yeah,
But during the week, like you've got Ugle-Hagan, Norton, Darcy down there. How do you kick 41 points? I don't get it.
He could. Did you? I'll just say
No
one
effort.
thing. Can I just say one? Hugo Hagan. Did you see he drop a couple of marks? Right. The pressure by St Kilda.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
When I say relentless,
Yep.
in capital, relentless. I've never seen anything quite like it.
What's St Kilda kick?
14-8.
That's okay. 92 points. They're
Absolutely.
a goal away from 100 nearly. I mean, close enough.
You win most games of footy with 92.
What I'm saying is it's not
But-
9-7-61 you go.
Okay.
You talk about the Dogs like, no forward structure. Well, they do have tall forwards, but no structure. They weren't explosive. They responded to perceived pressure badly, like they crumbled.
St Kilda hit him hard early, and I think for the rest of the game, even though maybe there was times where the pressure wasn't on, it was, like you said, perceived like someone's there.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Make a mistake every time.
So the other game that Vito was watching, so North Melbourne's had a 1-point win, 10-12, 72 to 11-7, 73.
Okay, so
Huge
first
win.
things I want to just say before I say how much of a good win it was, I don't want to hear another second about the siren. That should have been a freak. Mate, that's the rule. Whether they heard it, they didn't hear it. It could have been against us. Oh, well. Sometimes the light goes your way.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what makes my head in? They gave North no on Channel 9 this morning. Oh, that's all they were talking about. Damien Barrett's talking about, Freo and, they were hard done. How about giving North some credit to go to Perth and actually win the game?
Win a game of footy and control it all night.
All night.
Andrew, thoughts?
He wasn't, obviously he was...
You've seen, obviously, you know about
And
the
look,
controversy.
Sorry, I was going to finish with this. LDU.
Oh.
I'm going to swallow
Incredible.
my words for the rest of my life.
Incredible.
He will win a Brownlow. I used to laugh at you blokes. He's going to win a Brownlow, this bloke. I don't know when, but he will.
He will. Yeah.
My
I agree.
Goodness me.
Speak.
And that's, yeah. But Freo in trouble. I'm not sure what's going on there. Luke Jackson playing forward all night, most of the night. Couldn't clunk a mark, mate.
And the Darcy combination.
And we had no McKay up there, so I mean, he was the big bloke up there.
Yeah.
Griffin Logue, mate. tremendous.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, Andrew, go on.
Nathan Jonathan Fife, if that's your middle name, I don't know. Where were you Saturday night? Did you even show up? Retire. It's over. I've had enough of you, mate. I can't handle this bloke. 2 Brownlows. Take it and piss off. And Justin Longmuir. Do you have a game plan or you just play defensive? You want Luke Ryan to get 40 touches. You must want him to win a Brownlow. Because I can't see any other reason for you playing that style. You've lost 2 games. You won't play finals and you won't have a job at the end of the year. Thoughts?
Agree with Fife.
Yep.
Done. And I agree with Longmuir.
And I agree with Ryan because he just plays loose and everyone goes, 40 touches every week. Yes, that's
They
great.
just keep kicking back.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
but
What's the
he's a
purpose
good
of that?
player for football, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I don't get it.
Yep.
What's an avail for me?
But North looked good. I told you.
You did.
You know,
You did last week.
yeah.
You said there was
But,
a chance. I said they weren't.
but you know, North's best recruit is doing really well this year.
Griffin Logue.
No. You won't even get it.
You won't even say Jack Zeeble.
Brett Ratton is North's best recruit.
He did say, he goes in upstairs, mate. He's watching everything and reporting to Clark.
He's
Possibly.
he's coached an AFL team. He's got
Possibly.
2 AFL teams, plenty of experience. Clarkson trusts him. So him being down and educating the young kids
I agree with that.
Yep.
helps more than you can imagine.
Absolutely agree.
And the Hawthorn influence, the Clarkson game plan.
Oh,
'Cause let's be
100%.
honest, North, they chipped all night. That was so Hawthorn of their 3-peat
Absolutely.
era. They just need another mode. They can't go chip, chip, chip all night. That's why Freo
That's
got
okay,
back.
but they're learning that.
They'll
I think.
learn that,
They'll learn
hopefully.
Of course they will.
But it's a great weapon and mechanism to
that.
have learnt first.
Talking about getting the job done, they
Just
got the job
keeping
done.
the
That's
ball
it.
off them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mate, I wouldn't have thought it, but anyway.
Sunday footy, the first game of the afternoon was Sydney Hawthorn. Sydney walloped them. 17-16, 118 to 4-13, 37. And it should have been 130 points.
Next.
There's nothing to say about that.
I'm serious.
Look, I can't gauge Sydney. They've played 2. Gold Coast were ordinary last week.
But we know they're going to play finals. That's about
Exactly.
Move
So
on.
they've
Yeah.
walloped them.
So-
as
so-
far as Hawthorn, Dermy said today that Hawthorn is Hawthorn is where North were 3 years
it.
ago.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's a long way back.
But they know that. That's
Yeah.
they know that.
Yeah.
Or else they wouldn't have got rid of Gunston and
Yep.
O'Meara. They understand that, which
Yep.
is fine. That's why I don't have a problem with them. They're going to be horrendous this year, but they know that they'll get the first
Yep.
pick or second pick, and that's the end of it.
So the 3:20 game was Essendon Gold Coast. Ripping game of footy, level
Good
at
game.
three-quarter time. Gold Coast put it right up to them, and then Essendon kicked away in the last quarter, 17-6, 108 to 12-880.
I reckon Essendon were impressive. I reckon they were impressive.
Yeah, they responded many times.
I agree.
No
Gold Coast
forward
had a
line.
crack.
No forward line. So Peter Wright out again.
That's right, yeah.
Late withdrawal. Wiedemann.
We didn't play, yeah, injured. Yeah,
Kyle Langford goes forward and kicks 5.
yeah. He's got a beautiful kick on him, hasn't he?
He has. But yeah, I thought they were impressive because, again, they found a way. They kicked
did.
108 points
They
again.
did.
So, again, look, Gold Coast had a crack, but they're no good. We know that.
They
We know
did.
what we all think of Gold Coast.
Yeah, they couldn't go the distance.
Just not. Just,
They're no good.
They've got those blokes. We've mentioned these guys: Anderson,
Yeah.
Kocius, Rao, the usual suspects. What's
Yeah,
his name?
yeah.
Took Miller,
Took Miller.
the Brownlow medalist
yeah.
for 2023.
You know, Took Miller today got caught a lot and made a lot of. He was under pressure. Essendon obviously targeted him, and they did a good job. You're right about Brad Scott, though. What you say about with his.
Get your head out of your laptop. All the good coaches are on the boundary line with headsets, talking to players. Clarkson does it. Goodwin does it. Hardwick does it. Every time you pan up to the box, he's Googling something. Mate, we know what the clearances are. You know if you're getting beaten contested footy, get your head in the game. Get it out of the laptop.
So, if Essendon win the premiership, will you change your view on that?
Magnificent move. The only coach to actually use a laptop in the coach's
to win the
box.
premiership.
Can I just ask you a question?
It just annoys me, that's all. But
Okay, just ask you one question. This is directed at you, Angela. Is this a payback for all the times you
Payback.
in the box?
yeah, payback.
Okay.
Getting staplers thrown at me and
No word of a lie, really.
It's not that bad.
yeah, I just don't. Look, I look at it, and you know, I in another world, I am like a local bum coach as well, and I don't need a laptop to tell me that our midfield ain't going great,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
and I don't need a laptop to find out what the inside 50s are.
He could be watching Netflix.
He could be.
You don't know these doing any footy
He
jobs.
could be.
He's got 9 assistant coaches.
Just getting off him for a second. I didn't realise that Ben Jacobs sits on the boundary line with a headset working for Essendon. I didn't know that.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw him this today.
Yeah, okay. That's an interesting one.
Join in the chorus. North Club Corner, is it?
It always is.
He's just... And currently, there's a game of footy going on, and it's GWS versus West Coast at Perth Stadium.
Yep.
As I said it the wrong way around then.
Perth Stadium.
Optus
How about Optus
No,
Stadium?
it's Perth Stadium.
Is it really?
I don't want to speak about
The
that. word.
WACA
Not that
then?
company. It's Perth
Is
Stadium.
it the WACA, yeah?
Ah, that could be. That's
So we're not covering that one because it's a nothing game.
no, but the progressive scores are West Coast are 5-5-35 and they lead GWS 3-5-23 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. There you have it. Our review of round 2 is done and dusted. And if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons as we creep closer to that elusive 1,000 target. So join us again tomorrow for our preview of round 3.